Hello, it's been 50 years of Super Sentai, and the era we've come to love is now over. Go is the last Super Sentai as we know it, leaving the future uncertain. For over a decade, it's felt like toy sales are getting worse and worse every year, and it felt like Toei and Bandai were about to cancel it and reboot Metal Heroes to fill in for it. Well, after all this time, that's happening. Toei's starting a new franchise called Project Red that takes inspiration from both Metal Heroes and Super Sentai. However, they may eventually bring Sentai back, which they did with Kamen Rider in the past, and most tokusatsu franchises have taken breaks and then come back a few years later. So, it's only a matter of time, and Hasbro is now teaming up with Disney to make a new Power Rangers reboot, so who knows what will happen. If Super Sentai comes back or rebrands, what are some good motifs that we haven't seen? First of all, Gojuger was animal themed, but mixed the third animal anniversary season with battle royale elements similar to Kamen Rider Geats. Over 50 years and 49 seasons, Super Sentai went through many motifs, but there are many that haven't been used, but would be cool. So now is the perfect time to count down the top 10 motifs that we haven't seen in a Sentai yet. Number 10, Hanafuda. In Japan, there is a common type of playing card called Hanafuda that are smaller than American cards but thicker. It's actually how the company Nintendo originally started by producing them back in the 1800s. Hanafuda cards are known for flowers and intricate designs, so the motif of Hanafuda would be a good aesthetic. This would also be original and unique to Japan, which some recent seasons such as Dawn Brothers, have tried making more Japanese-like motifs, such as Dawn Brothers, which was centered around the fairy tale of Momotaro. Think about a team with Hanafuda gimmick, such as cards with abilities similar to Go-Seeger. Imagine if they mixed this theme with a samurai or ninja team. So for these reasons, Hanafuda deserves a spot on this list. Number 9. Construction. Construction is a less violent and vehicle-based motif. We haven't seen much of it in Sentai other than occasional vehicle-themed seasons with one or more construction vehicles. However, construction vehicles have heavy machinery and can be dangerous in the right hands. Imagine if Toei made a team with weaponry and mecha themed around construction. This would also give them an excuse to have an Orange Ranger on the main team. Plus, I like vehicle-themed Sentai, and the Reiwa era of Sentai thrived with 2.5 vehicle-themed Sentai. Plus, experimenting with the vehicle theme is a good idea, because the last time they tried mixing it with another motif, magic, it was one of my favorites, and the ratings for the show went up. Demolition would also be cool, so I'm gonna give the number 8 spot to a demolition themed team too. Number 7, Greek mythology. Now, let's get to something that Western fans would enjoy. Greek mythology is known for its gods and excellent creatures, centaurs, cyclops, gorgons, Pegasus, and many other. In fact, Toei Animation themselves created an anime themed around Greek mythology called Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac. Imagine if we had a full team of rangers themed around mystical creatures from Greek mythology. Imagine a Chimera themed Red Ranger, Hydra themed Blue Ranger, Cerebus themed Black Ranger, Siren themed Pink White Ranger, Cyclops themed Yellow Ranger, then imagine extra Rangers who could be a Gorgon themed Green Ranger. Imagine if a Megazord themed around this team existed. This would be a recipe for success, especially since the medieval King Oger was an epic loved by the fanbase. Number 6, Onmyoji. First of all, I've always liked tokusatsu themed around magic, and there's one Japanese magic system that is well known in anime, culture, and video games, onmyoji, a type of fortune telling, spirit communication, divination, and cosmology. It also deals with the yin yang symbol and celestial bodies, so Toei's science fantasy elements would perfectly fit it. Next time they want to make something like Dawn Brothers, this would be the ideal motive. Number 5. Steampunk. Super Sentai has always leaned more into science fiction. There was Go Busters, which was a cyberpunk series, and surprisingly, they haven't done anything with cyberpunk's twin genre, steampunk, or diesel punk, or retro futuristic, or anything like that before. There are a lot of steampunk anime, and we have gotten train-themed mecha several times, and they were successful. Imagine a steampunk Sentai where the Rangers have bronze and brass themed suits and mecha. We could even get a Brown Ranger or even a Bronze Ranger. This could be epic if the writers knew what they were doing. We've even had the Victorian themed Shadow line in Tokir, so it wouldn't be that far-fetched to say that a steampunk Super Sentai would be a good idea. Number 4. Deep sea diving. Going underwater is another concept that both Power Rangers and Super Sentai have done before, but neither have made a whole team themed around submarines, undersea exploration, or even protecting corals and the rest of our oceans from pollution and global warming. We've only seen a handful of underwater battles in tokusatsu, and as the real world faces all kinds of issues in the ocean, this would be a motive that the whole world would be interested in. Imagine if we had a team that dealt with mature themes about mankind's destruction of the oceans. Perhaps a season could have mankind accidentally creating all kinds of deep sea monsters because of climate change, or perhaps a fictional deep sea race living in the corals could team up with humanity to save corals across the planet from bleaching. In fact, even making a season about Atlantis would be a good story. Now, let's move on to our top three. Three motifs that would be marketable, world renowned, and loved by the tokusatsu fanbase worldwide. Number 3. Cowboys. In America, most children know what Japanese ninja and samurai are. But ever wondered what the opposite of that is? In the same vein, Japanese children know what American cowboys are from pop culture such as Toy Story. There's even a few anime series about cowboys. All three Toei series have referenced cowboys. Metal Heroes, Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider, but not one of them has had a series that committed to the cowboy motive. This would be awesome, and there is extreme demand for this. American Super Sentai fans constantly beg for this Sentai. In fact, we were disappointed that Toei didn't announce one for 2026. Plus, there are a lot of Western obsessed Japanese people who are obsessed with cowboys and country music. There's even an award winning anime from the 90s called Cowboy Bebop, made by Sunrise, Bandai's animation studio. So, they would probably love a buckle wearing Sentai with a J Country theme song. This would also give them an excuse to have a Brown Ranger in the main team for the first time. Number 2. Planes and Aviation. One of the most popular Super Sentai seasons is Jetman, a series that literally saved the franchise from cancellation. It was themed around flight, but they weren't really plane themed, they were a mix of bird and planes. So what if Toei made a team that's entirely themed around aviation in general, such as helicopters, jets, and transport planes? The whole world would like this. In fact, Top Gun is more popular now than ever. in this decade because of the Legacy sequel that was a blockbuster. I'm surprised that they didn't make one in the last 3 years. If somebody wants to bring the franchise back in 5 or 10 years, this would be the perfect motive to give either a Power Rangers or Super Sentai season a triumphant return. There are planes of many different colors. Imagine an SR-71 themed Black Ranger, imagine a helicopter themed Red Ranger, or a Blue Ranger, for that matter. Imagine an acrobatic biplane for a Pink Ranger, or a fighter jet themed around a Yellow Ranger. Plus, imagine a space shuttle themed White Ranger. This is a motive that could save the franchise. Before I reveal my number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Classic horror monsters, sports, Daikaiju, Vikings, and last and not least, Dino Ninjas. We keep getting dinosaur and ninja themed Sentai, so how long is it going to be before Toei combines them? That would be a major profitable decision. I had many other unused motif ideas that Toei could potentially use, but they aren't good enough to get on this list. Number 1. Vampires. Kamen Rider has already had a vampire-themed series. However, it wasn't very good, and the vampire types in that series weren't cool enough. The Fangires were very campy and were basically just the vampires from Twilight, just not written as well. Sentai usually makes motifs simple and has used vampires many times for villains and Halloween costumes of the protagonists, and their version of vampires is more along the lines of the traditional versions that ultimately stem from Dracula. Honestly, I enjoyed Magic Ranger's Vampire two-parter way more than Kamen Rider Kiva. Vampires are the perfect motif because they are known to be used in all genres and can fit both camp and mature stories very well. The variety ranges from Hotel Transylvania to Castlevania to Twilight, which I'll admit I'm a fan of. Plus, vampires in folklore are affiliated with more than just bats. Vampires in folklore have all kinds of animal forms that they could take, such as wolves, owls, ravens, jaguars, moths, snakes, and foxes. Plus, vampires are known for other superhuman abilities such as invisibility, flight, mind control, and many others. With a variety of powers and weaknesses to use, this would have varying and worldwide demand. Toei could even make a Dracula themed mentor for the team. The color scheme of this team would be very interesting. Imagine red, blue, white, black, and purple. A sixth ranger could even be a silver, yellow, or even something new entirely, an additional red ranger that is themed around the color crimson. Plus, the mecha slash megazord would be awesome as they could combine bat wings with it, and we could get one of the few megazords where flight is in the main form. Vampires aren't even rare in anime, as there are a bunch of different vampire anime out there. If we ever get a trademark with the word Kayuketsuki or Vancuria, then that is what this season probably is. I would love to see a vampire themed Super Sentai season. Just look at some of this AI artwork showing how awesome this would be. Please, Toei, make a vampire Super Sentai. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas, please comment down below. If you agree with my picks, please comment down below. Let's just hope the franchise we grew up on isn't over for good, and let's keep our hopes up for Project Red.